Hello everyone, I'm sorry that we've kept you waiting, but as you will have seen, it's a very full agenda and we've still got to conclude some of our discussions over dinner. So let me just pick up some of the key points from today's discussion. We began with a long and comprehensive debate on Egypt, and we've adopted a number of conclusions, notably to recognise the legitimate democratic aspiration and grievances of the Egyptian population. We believe they should be listened to carefully and their needs addressed through urgent and decisive measures. We've also urged the Egyptian authorities to embark on an orderly transition to a process of genuine democratic reform that will pave the way for free and fair elections. We want to see a peaceful and constructive way forward based on a serious and open dialogue with the opposition parties and with civil society. And we want to call on the authorities to restore communication networks without delay and to guarantee unhindered access to all media, including the internet. We stand ready to assist the Egyptian people in the transformation process, taking into account future developments. We also discussed events in Tunisia and expressed our admiration for the courage and determination shown by the Tunisian people in their struggle for democracy. We stand ready to support them as they move in transition towards a functioning democracy with full respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. We're ready to support this democratic transition, including in particular helping with the up-and-coming elections. In close coordination with the Tunisian authorities, we've also moved to freeze the assets of people that have embezzled public funds in Tunisia. I'll be discussing the situation with their foreign minister, who comes to Brussels on Wednesday, and I'm planning a visit to the country in the very near future. For Belarus, I have deplored the events after the presidential elections of the 19th of December and condemned the violence and arrests and repeatedly asked for the release of all those detained on political grounds. We would have hoped for improvements in the situation in Belarus, but we've seen practically no change on the ground. Therefore, we were left with no alternative but to apply restrictive measures against Belarus officials responsible for the flawed elections and subsequent violence, including President Lukashenko. There are almost 160 names on the list. Our overriding priority remains the release of all detainees, and that would be an essential element before the EU could review that decision. Meanwhile, I repeat again our full support for the people of Belarus. We're committed to strengthen our link with civil society there. And then on Côte d'Ivoire, we reconfirm today the objective of our policies in Côte d'Ivoire, the peaceful transfer of power to President Ouattara in order to promote democracy and the rule of law. We will continue our diplomatic action to strengthen internal support for him and his government, to reinforce the cohesion of the international community, especially within the African Union and ECOWAS, and promote the wider adoption of appropriate targeted measures against Mr. Gbagbo and his supporters. And will continue to increase the pressure on that former President Gbagbo to step down, and that includes targeted sanctions on individuals and entities. The list we established in December, we have extended again today. Over dinner, we will talk about other issues. We were looking at specifically in the context of our discussions on strategic partners, our relationship with Russia. We'll also look at the situation in the Middle East, particularly in the light of the Quartet meeting on the 5th of February in Munich. And I will also debrief colleagues on the talks I led on behalf of the E3+3 with Iran in Istanbul 10 days ago. I also expect, as we've already seen in the Foreign Affairs Council, concerns over the recent increase of executions in Iran to be raised. I hope that gives a flavour of the discussion so far. I'm happy to take questions.